And prices of goods and services are on the rise every day, and that is why Royal Foam is bringing you an Easter sales promotion dubbed Wunsu Wunrini. It's your time to enjoy a 10% discount off the current prices of their mattresses. Yes, 10% off mattresses with free pillows in addition. So rush to all Royal Foam shops and get a 10% discount of every mattress purchased as well, and enjoy their free pillow. Call them on 020-227-1000 for more information. Royal Foam, rest assured.
And here's one that you can also enjoy. It's a Get More with SG Ghana season. Conveniently purchase a comprehensive insurance cover for your vehicle from SG Ghana and get up to 500 Ghana cedis worth of free fuel. Enjoy extra mileage with SG Ghana's Sound Drive insurance product and get extra protection as well. It's pretty simple. Just visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch or please call Societe Generale on 0302 214 314. Call them and find out more. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
And I'm sure we all enjoy it when we use, fresh chicken for our stews and light soup.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yes, I love that. And sometimes feel very bad when you use frozen, very old chicken. Well, La Bianca Company Limited has good news for you because La Bianca has introduced you to its latest product made right here in Ghana, Akoko Tasty.
Oh yeah.
Now with Akoko Tasty, every chicken meal will be a delight. We offer well-bred and slaughtered fresh chicken to suit all your needs. In need of wings and quarters for your barbecue, gizzards and breasts for your stir fries or sauces, try Akoko Tasty. We offer all chicken parts for all your culinary needs. To order, contact La Bianca on 0505 431111 or 0500 660144 or visit our facility at the Tema Fish and Harbour. La Bianca, your number one frozen foods company.
Get yourself some tasty, meaty,
Fresh chicken.
cockerel.
Fresh.
Okay then. All right. Shall we get into it? The question is simple. Where are the billionaires? As a nation, we have not at any time had anybody from Ghana on the Forbes list of billionaires. Is it because there are no billionaires? Is it because, well, there are, but they are hiding the fact that they are billionaires? Well, either way, there's nobody who can we can point to and say, this person, whatever he does it on a global scale. He has access to global markets. He is able to bring in large amounts of foreign exchange through his economic activity, and is a person whose billionaire status was created deliberately for that purpose. There's nobody that we can point to in that regard. The question is why. All morning we've been talking about this. People have been sending in their tweets and questions, and in fact I would love to hear from you as well. What comes to your mind when you hear that a Ghanaian is a billionaire? What comes to your mind? What do you think of this Ghanaian? Do we as Ghanaians have positive attitudes towards wealthy people or not? I don't even know where to start with this one. Ray.
Now, see, sometimes people might think merely by mentioning billionaires, we are trivializing. We are actually thinking that everybody is being reduced to rich people being created in the society. The mere absence of rich people do not ensure development. We know that for a fact. There can be inequality in the society that would actually build a structure that's very difficult to defend. But let's look at it this way. The crux of the matter is that, have we helped the people who have shown entrepreneurial spirit to be at the same level like their colleagues elsewhere? The story is told, and recently he defended it himself. Elon Musk said, yes, I started my own with help from family. But at some point when he felt all was failing, the US government came to his aid. And he admitted that. In fact, he even admitted that, yes, and he paid back the money with extra so that others can get the same help when they need it most. So If that help did not come in, was it possible that Elon Musk could have actually not been one of the richest in the world today? Was it possible that he would have done all the things he has done in the space? Was it possible that he would not be one of the people pushing a lot of jobs on the frontier that we find today? The most important conversation here is that, do we support the people who have shown enough entrepreneurial spirit with everything that the state can support you with, so that they can leave and actually join their colleagues elsewhere? The arena of business is a very terrible place. There is cutthroat policy that every state may want to use to stifle your development. Now I'm going to give specific examples because I think it will bring it home. Let's look, for example, at the decision, and I was citing the Ambassador Hotels conversion to Movenpick, and of course Prince Al Walid was very relevant in that space. At the same time, Marriott's Hotel, a Ghanaian was actually seeking to build Marriott's Hotel. Anybody who will see the kind of incentives that were given to those two individuals will be shocked at how we were very much interested in getting Prince to do a lot of investment in this country, contrary to those who have actually done or are locally on their own and can do same. If you elevate it a little bit above that particular level, there are times that when we needed to give contracts, we had chosen the foreign bidder, not because they were more experienced, not because they were more competent, not because we felt it was needed for a certain group to be done, but merely because we would benefit one way or the other, and that the local people failed to sponsor, help, or we perceive them to be aiding our opponents. Do you get my point? So that process eliminated somebody that in the near future would have been the one creating more jobs in Ghana. And I'm sure we all know that jobs don't care whether it be whoever is creating the jobs. But for sustainable jobs, for people to even have people to look up to, there's a conversation about even architects. How we at a point in time sideline every single Ghanaian trained, born, bred in this country who has been doing architectural work and chose other people for it. And we gave a lot of excuses. But the question remained, which year were we expecting, and which country were we expecting to give all the jobs to our people to actually get to the level that we want? Now, the Dangote example, for example, when he had all the support from the Nigerian government, today people will tell you that in Nigeria, and ask the people who are trying to take advantage of after and go to Nigeria and build factories and actually improve the system there, they will tell you Baba does not take prisoners, and that any attempt, even by government, to aid you in the name of whichever collaborative effort will be heavily resisted. But we open our arms nicely. Nobody is opposed to foreign direct investment. But do we do it to the detriment of our own people who are setting up, if it's not similar or same industry in this country? Do we set out merely because we do not like people, or we probably feel that we are emboldening a certain group of people, or we are making it difficult for them to thrive properly so that these people will expand? You quietly listen to yourself and see the people who have occupied our free zones enclave. Do a list of the companies. Carefully review them. It will drum home the point. Which year are we waiting? And I've said, if 30 years ago we still had the likes of Apia Minkas Apino Soap around, perhaps that we evolved. And as of the time Edward Osaya Abuache set up a mattress company in this country, there wasn't any by a local gun. In fact, all mattresses were brought from outside. Our own people. It thrived in other countries, but we killed it. We deliberately stifled and killed it. The man spent a long time in exile, and the company went under. You think about a Ghanaian mattress manufacturer from the 70s growing in the next 50, 60 or 70 years, or in the next 100 years, expanding to other African countries, the jobs it would have created, the areas that we would have been proud that we've gone into, and the very things we could do with that. And it's not only mattress. You think about all the other people who had entrepreneurial spirit, who had the industry to build big things at the time, who had ideas, which were killed merely because we disagreed with them, or we didn't think that growing a local industry of our own people was right. So today we are trying to build new set of people. What we do mostly is that if the MPP comes, MPP brings its own set of people that it tries to help. For at best 8 years, their business will be lifting, will be getting up to a certain stage. The next government comes in, so no, you're not with us. So they either stifle them, they deliberately fight them, and nobody is saying that if people don't pay taxes, if they are doing indecent work, you should allow them to do it. But the problem has been the fact that people who are doing the right work also being prevented from doing their work merely because they say that we are too jealous of them, we think they're becoming too powerful and they influence politics in ways that we don't like, or they don't just support us. There's also a benign ethnocentric approach sometimes to some of these things, merely because it doesn't come from where we come from. So it's as if we have been our own enemies for a very long time. Government being the one, and we have promoted things like golden age of business. The private sector is the engine of growth of our development. You check how we evolve around the ease of doing business ranking. For the period it was operational, it will tell you that we are not a serious people when it comes to promoting business. So it's not just about making millionaires. It's about the systems you are put in place to promote businesses, even at the lowest level. There are countries today that can take you hours to actually get a business registered. You try. See the form we use for business registration. I was discussing with somebody, so all that you do is fill the parts that you want. The rest has to be taken care of. Because you cannot prudently go through that process and get it early enough. The queues you find at the offices that you're supposed to be.
Foreign business.
Well, maybe. But you think about how it is possible for us to lay the red carpet for everything foreign. But when it comes to our own, we have every good reason why we should stifle and destroy them. And the examples are bad. At what point are we going to turn around the corner? Are we still convinced that... See, let me not just... Winston, let's name the biggest owners of big retail business in Ghana. Me, I can't name them. Actual... No, not the people who are owning the building. So I'm talking about the real retail business. You name them. Ghanaians. Or any of the industries will predominate. Clearly, big industry will predominate. It's very difficult to find them.
Very. And Raymond, I'd like to start off from a very important point. In the conversations leading to the 3 years and 4 years of education, there was a conversation about economics of education.
Yeah.
And that the economics of education is such that because of the high unemployment rate in a country, you actually increase the number of years people spend in school.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of people out there looking for jobs. Yes. We had that conversation. It wasn't one of the conversations that never really came up, so often. But it was a conversation that, behind the scenes we're having these conversations, and we said, because we see education as a passport to work, we should also focus on the economics of education. And we would cite at the time examples of China. That China even creates a scholarship scheme that gets a lot of its students pursuing master's programs.
Staying in school.
So that those students do not add up to the unemployed people while they try to create the necessary jobs to employ these persons. I made these 2 points for a reason. Because we've also said in the literature says that existing businesses are able to create between 60 to 80% of new jobs. Some have put it at 60, some at 70, and some at 80. While research is also indicated that 75% of the jobs we set up in this country, in their first 3 months, they will collapse. So this is the point I'm trying to make. When you create a business mogul and he begins to diversify into other fields, he carries along with him the expertise he's learned. Now, when I went to plant corn or maize, and it rained, and because the seedling that I planted didn't like that, I lost all my yields. the next season, I didn't repeat that mistake.
Yeah.
Because then I had realized that if I repeat that same mistake, I would be a fool for the second time, and I have no justification to say that nobody told me. Of course, in the first instance, nobody told me, but I should have asked, really. Now, the main reason why we say it's important to create Ghanaian moguls, business moguls, Ghanaians who own businesses and can compete with the rest of the world is this. First of all, that person would take the stress off central government. Today, part of the things you hear government do is such that in order for government to maintain the security in this country, it has to open up jobs that ordinarily are no productive. So in 2007, the rationale for setting up the National Youth Employment Program was because of the growing fear of insecurity in the country because of unemployment. So it took national security to advise the government that if you don't do anything, this would go a long way to haunt all of us. And today, look, let me tell you, if you are a resident Ghanaian, if you are Ghanaian and you own a business outside this country, and in this country, we add all of it and we tax you.
That was the point that I had noted, the taxes. Yeah.
We'll add all of it. We'll tax you. We'll make money from you. Of course, there's a conversation about how well we use the monies that we make from our taxes. But that's just also because we have not demanded accountability enough, and that's not a conversation I want to get into today. Look, in Nigeria, Dangote today can afford to come to Ghana and compete in our space. Dangote Cement. I am not saying don't open up your market to Dangote. But I am saying, if I were a government, I would direct all government agencies to buy from Jata Cement. It's that simple. I say, buy from Jata Cement. Because we also want to create somebody who can go out there and compete.
Yeah.
There will come a time that he actually would also send some of his employees to other parts of the world to go and manage his business. He wouldn't only keep them here. Okay? And today, if our economy, and we've asked that, we've had that conversation before. We've talked about ownership of an economy. I know there are two schools of thought.
Yeah.
We're not saying let's shut down our economy to everybody. No. We cannot do that. We're not an island on our own. And so I'll be the last person to say, let's shut down the Ghanaian economy and let only Ghanaians play in this economy. We will not get anywhere if only Ghanaians play in this economy. Okay? But if we allow Ghanaians to play in this economy, and we give the Ghanaians the very incentives we give to foreigners, and sometimes even more, because of the fact that, look, and the incentives are such that sometimes only a market that you would give that Ghanaian business.
Yeah.
Sometimes it only
Restricting the markets.
it only means holding the hand and taking him on a trip outside the country and saying, you know what, I want this guy to set up in your country. We have seen in other parts of West Africa how a telecommunications company is struggling. Least mistake, you have a huge fine.
Yeah.
Because in that country, they have an indigenous telecommunications company, and you dare not.
Which are bent on protecting no matter
You dare
what.
not beat that company to the competition. They open their market. They are not saying, don't come and play. They come and play. But when you come and play also, you know that in our part of the world, we believe that we must protect or incentivize more people who belong to us. Today, we would sign agreements with companies on percentage of their funds that they can, of their profits that they can take outside this country. Why? Because these profits would always leave the country in dollars. Your currency is not convertible. Ghana. Take Ghana city. When you get to Aplaboda, you change it.
Yeah.
Hey, where? Where do you want to go with it? You will change it. At the border, it's not convertible. So you won't go anywhere with a Ghana city. It's not like the South African rand that you say you could take to other places. It's not like the SAFA that you say you could take. You will change it right here in Ghana. So, in order to send some of its profit to its mother company, it has to do so in dollars. We, as a country, are having a balance of payment deficits. That today, we are the IMF having begged the whole world to give us only $3 billion. Just $3 billion. Only $3 billion. It's just like our total capital expenditure for the year. So look, what we are saying is that let us begin to think about these persons. And it's not just helping them, okay? Because over time, and as part of the help, as part of the creation of these billions, they become the nuclear, the launch pad to create millionaires and other billionaires. They're just not good because they're going to go into partnerships. And they're going into partnerships not just, with coming and say, I'm providing land. They're providing expertise, they're providing funding. Okay. And we talked about Patrick Motsepe. The South African government decided to do something.
Yeah.
The South African government introduced a black economic empowerment. They said, yes, the economy had to grow, but also needed black players. In our part of the world, what have we done when it comes to the much touted golden age of business? And I was having a conversation at the University of Ghana New Year School. I was speaking to the national coordinator for AFTA. I asked him that question. So the Ghanaian companies that have exported under AFTA, how many of them are owned by Ghanaians? Said 2 of them have taken advantage. 2 are in the process of taking advantage. I asked, are these Ghanaian owned businesses, as in owned by indigenous Ghanaians?
Oh, it's just Ghanaians leading.
He
But
said,
they're not the real owners.
He said, well, AFTA, which is true, is open to businesses in Africa. And he is working with businesses. So for him, the issue is, are there Ghanaian businesses and not necessarily Ghanaian-owned businesses?
Oh.
Yeah.
What is-
and it's one of the things that were identified very early on,
Very
that
early.
if we don't take that, there'll be a capture of the space.
Yeah.
And it'll be a springboard for other people. And there's no indigenization to insist that, well, it's Mama V and Wednesday that are doing it.
The fact that it's a Ghanaian business does not mean it's Ghanaian ownership.
Good.
Yeah.
And that was the
That's
first point.
crucial.
But that's his point. Now, creating Ghanaian billionaires also mean creating the enabling environment for them to be competitive. Today, if you go to Nigeria, where interest payments are between 11 and 13%, sometimes 14, 15.
Even Nigeria.
Yes, Nigeria. But that is the reason, after downgrading our economy, they project the Nigerian economy will grow by more than 2%. You are 1.6%. Nigeria wants to be part of BRICS. That it today is contributing to over 31% of the global GDP, compared to the G7 that it contributes 30% of the global GDP. I looked at the document, I didn't see Ghana in there, and I wasn't surprised. But let me continue and make my point. And I make this point because if I have to borrow at 40%, and I was having a conversation with one of my banker friends, who told me that today you're better off not walking to the bank for a loan.
Yeah.
Because you can't pay. And anybody who has a loan, my advice to you is that find a way of paying part of the principal. Just find a way of paying part of the principal. If today, in expanding my business, even the Ghana Exim Bank, that is supposed to help businesses, has interest rates of around 13 to 15%. That is the special vehicle. The development bank that we're setting up. That is that's the special vehicle that's supposed to help. That's the rate. And in there, what is their capitalization and how many businesses can they help? The first thing Malaysia did was to recapitalize their banks. They didn't want to collapse them. They merged banks. So banks could take on big ticket transactions. What we have done in this part of our world, and look, we live in a region where we say we have free movement of goods and services. That free movement of goods and services are such that you can have Nigeria bossing its way around other countries. You have some of our businesses taking their products and stuck at the borders for months.
Lots of extortion.
Yes. But you see, that is because, yes, they tell you they've opened it up to you. But they are also thinking about themselves. I say, open up the country. But it's about time we began thinking about how our own could be major players in the economy that we open. Let me end finally on this note. We have said it before in the past that government had no business doing business, but we have changed it along the line and have said government is a facilitator of business. So government's role or government's business in business is the facilitating role. Today, governments are getting too involved in businesses, leading to the collapse of Ghanaian businesses. In Nigeria, it doesn't matter where you belong. Businesses will not collapse because there's a change in government.
Yeah.
When there's a change in government, in fact, the business, you see, when there's a change in government, the businesses remain the same. When they were complaining about, non-availability of oil refineries, they called them and said, can't you do these oil refineries? That's this thing that is happening. Can't you build some here? There you have it.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
The biggest on the entire continent.
Yes. Once upon a time, a chief in this country called the president and said, I want you to create some millionaires for me. The president gave them contracts. If I mention their names to you today, they are millionaires. Food for thought.
I want us to also situate, and you mentioned a bit about the taxes, situate the billionaire conversation with taxes, because recently the AGI, the Association of Ghana Industries, following the passage of the 3 new taxes, they came out to say that government's revenue projection, which was largely hinged on the performance of industry, there was a forecast that there will be a contraction in manufacturing and other related businesses. And also just going through some of the things that others have said about the fact that we give tax exemption very easily to foreign companies, and we don't deliberately make such efforts about our own companies as well. It's almost as if you're being punished because you're a Ghanaian and you live in your own country and you have an idea, you have a brilliant idea, and so that's a punishment. We are actually supposed to encourage you and push you, but we tend to prefer foreigners. Somebody was listing the supermarkets, the popular supermarket brands in Ghana, and it's just full of foreigners. There's also the restaurants. You begin to name them, and most of them, almost all of them, are foreign
even if
brands.
it has a local name.
Yeah. When I went to the Volta region, my Volta region tour, I discovered many things that I didn't know before. So I have a list of manufacturing companies that exist in the Volta region. Did you know, for instance, that there's a paint factory in the Volta region? It's actually in Ho, Dominion Paints, and is one of the largest in the country. I'm going to go through the list, and we can ask the question, what sort of help are we giving them? We want to create billionaires. What can we make out of these companies that already exist? And this is just from the Volta region. I'm sure you guys can come up with other lists from other regions. Maybe our listeners can also help us with what exists elsewhere that we can deliberately push. We're looking for billionaires. We're looking for a deliberate way to make billionaires. The largest exporter of sweet potatoes and okra or okro is in Ketu North districts.
Okra.
Yes. There's a Volta winery located in Ho, cocoa, cashew, and coffee wines. I brought you guys coffee. There's the Ziavi Tutui coffee that I brought. There's also the Kawamoka coffee brands, which are on the markets. They're all made from the Volta region. One of the largest concentration of cattle in the country is in the Tong and Adaklu area, still in the Volta region. And the last one that I want to talk about is the largest pawpaw farm in the country, which is located at Befi. So what I'm saying is we already have companies, we already have people with local brands, with things that they are manufacturing from Ghana, like within Ghana. Can we deliberately push them? Can we make them bigger than they are? Can we sell them? Can we give them just a little bit of what we give the foreigners? Can we? Shouldn't we do this if we want to create billionaires? Shouldn't we start from some of these ventures? I'm just asking. Can't we? Like, how hard is this one? They've already started something, right?
Yeah. Well, I can assure you that if someone were to single out 1, 2, 3 of these companies from whichever part of the country, Volta region, where there are so many examples, somebody were to single out 1 or 2 of them and decide as a government policy to push such a company to grow, you will soon hear people asking questions now. Who is the owner? Whose brother is he? Whose sister is he?
You're
Who
right.
are they married to?
You're right.
Why are they pushing that one and not this one? There is something about us that immediately is repelled by the idea of somebody getting ahead, if that somebody is not us, or if that somebody is not feeding us. We'll talk about the culture of it in a bit. I think that's a very important part of the conversation, because we've already laid the foundation by explaining why it's important, how it would benefit us if we were to have a direct policy or a deliberate effort to create billionaires. But I want to bring in the issue of corruption, because it is perhaps one of the big reasons why we don't seem to succeed in creating billionaires. Corruption. I mean, and it's everywhere. You think about even what we've talked about, how we favor foreign companies over local. If you go deep into it, you will discover that those who are, this whole thing about trying to substitute imports. Today in Ghana, the best electric cables are produced by local companies. The only ones that are meeting our own standards are produced by local companies. But importers are being given all kinds of incentives to bring in the cheap, inferior ones at a lower price, so that if you are building your house, your money is not enough, you end up buying something that could end up burning down your house. Meanwhile, we have the Ghanaian companies, the Tropical Cables, the Leroy's, and all of those who are meeting the standard, and they are struggling. They are being hit with heavy taxes, and of course they also have to import their raw materials. They also have to pay electricity bills. There is no enabling environment. There is no the same sort of red carpet, as Raymond described it, that we are laying out for foreign competition is not available to the local competition. So how will they grow? Today, the only shopping mall that was built by a Ghanaian company, ANC Mall, not one incentive, not one tax break. Even the loan to build the thing, they couldn't get it from Ghana. Other people wanted to come and build malls. Go and look at West Hills Mall. I don't even know if people still go there. They came from God knows where. Given all kinds of doors were open, they came and built their malls. If a Ghanaian wants to do it, roadblocks and quoting. Foreigner wants to do it, open doors and quoting. But again, it goes back to corruption, because somebody feels that it is more beneficial to them personally in that government office where they are sitting to let a foreigner come, because that foreigner will have to have a local partner, right? So he can then go and suggest, okay, use this company as your local partner. Maybe a company even owned by himself through Shell, corporations. Then that local company becomes a partner. Then he's chopping some on the side. If he were to have given that same incentive to a Ghanaian businessman, he wouldn't be able to do that. So you see how corruption becomes a massive stumbling block. It's not just there. If you are a Ghanaian and you actually want government to support you, give you business, give you the enabling environment, then you have to be corrupt too. You have to be willing to agree to kickbacks. You have to be willing to set up all kinds of contracts that will not really perform, just so that somebody, otherwise you cannot play. You will not be allowed to play. When government says they want to support businesses, it's always a political gimmick. So instead of them taking money, Winston talked about planting for food and jobs earlier. Instead of them taking the money, giving it to some 10 farmers, go and farm vast acres of land, mechanize the thing, produce, replace, substitute our imports. Instead of doing that, no, they would rather give small money to as many people as possible, because the thing is not to grow business, it's to grow votes. So why should they be interested in creating a billionaire? Billionaire has one vote. So they are far more interested in spreading out the thing in an insignificant way that will create nothing but votes. Today we can't replace our imports. Our economy remains Gaggisbergian. We can't produce anything. We can't add value to anything. We keep going to the IMF for bailouts. Meanwhile, in other countries, one person's net worth is more than Ghana's whole GDP. At some point, it has to start making sense to us that the only way to save ourselves is by saving ourselves. When we come back, we'll talk about the culture of it, because you sitting, listening, nodding, you are probably part of the problem. Maybe I am too. When we come back, we'll get into that. Stay with us.
I've been everywhere and anywhere I go.
Fortune rice, it needs just a little water. The greenstone stick and the aroma and taste are delicious. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom.
Now introducing Fortune Emuka, your tasty Ghana rice for all your rice meals.
This advert is FDA approved.
Just like mom.
Introducing the new Techno Spark 10 series. Enjoy a long-lasting 5000 mAh battery capacity plus 18 watts charging pack in an ultra-sleek 6.7-inch Full HD screen with a storage galore of 256GB plus 8GB. You can save every memory and never lose any. 32 megapixels glowing selfie camera and 50 megapixels AI rear camera. Get your Techno Spark 10 series. Visit the nearest Techno accredited shop and join the glowing selfie gang.
Adwa, Grandma looked very peaceful. I was completely amazed when I saw her neatly presented. She looked just like she was sleeping.
You haven't seen anything yet, my brother. You should have seen the care and quality treatment they gave her at Transitions. One man, one room, just like a 5-star hotel.
Wow.
And not only that, we had a dedicated person to guide the family through the funeral planning process.
Are you sure?
Of course. From picking her up to when we lowered Grandma down, everything was completely stress-free. They had all the needed funeral services, caskets, hearse, chapel, and so much more.
This one, dear, no family fights after all.
I'm so happy we made the right decision to use Transitions.
With Transitions, your loved one gets the best of care while the family enjoys a stress-free funeral planning process. Call us now on 0302 634 706. And no, did I tell you they are affordable? Transitions, the funeral people.
Do you need money to start a business? Do you need money to expand your business? Are you a government or private sector worker in need of money to sort out emergencies? Do you need working capital loan Or do you need an emergency loan? Quick Credit will loan you money so you can repay in flexible terms. It's collateral-free loan with no susu, savings, account opening or deposit wahala. You just need to be a Ghanaian with your Ghana card. Quick Credit covers all forms of loan, and so you have no excuse not to work this year and beyond. Call Quick Credit on 030-2200-390 or 059-6920-833. Take note, we do not give loans via the internet. Beware of scammers. We are regulated and licensed by Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions applied.
Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
There's something special happening at Heritage Christian College. Their bustling campus is right in the heart of Amasaman, just behind the Olympic Stadium, and it will amaze you what they are doing there. Heritage Christian College is churning out academic excellence with their comprehensive range of degrees, including Bachelor of Business Administration programs, IT, and theology. Don't forget to ask about their professional programs and short courses. What makes Heritage special? Heritage Christian College takes the academic experience further than ever with one laptop per student, flexible fee payment, entrepreneurial training with financial support, all delivered by a caring faculty working to develop your character and your intellect. Admissions are in progress, so call today on 054 7777 731 and get accepted. For more information, go to hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian College, a university educating compassionate entrepreneurs. Leaders.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, e no bath, e no chop, when e vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You no get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor gets water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank gets meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Each year, 18,000 children are born in Ghana with sickle cell disease, and 1 in 3 Ghanaians have the sickle cell trait. Many discover their sickle cell genotype only after the birth of a precious child with the condition. But do you know that sickle cell disease can be prevented? It starts with knowing your genotype. Do you also know that sickle cell is not a death sentence? With early diagnosis and the right medical care, some are living to celebrate their 90th birthdays. That is why the International Sickle Cell Center and Airtel Tigo are pushing the Touching Lives initiative to raise awareness. My name is Dr. Mary Anson. Get tested to know your sickle cell genotype. To learn more, visit www.iicc.international.
This initiative is brought to you by the International Sickle Cell Center, ISCC, in partnership with Airtel Tigo Touching Lives.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.5.
Morning show. Today is your show. We're talking about money. We're talking about billionaires. Why don't we have any? Why don't we appear to have any? And why do we need them? It's a big conversation, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on it as well. But first, Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your #1 supplier of quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture at affordable prices, reminds you to go check out their online store, kingdomstoreonline.com. It's brilliant. They've got everything there. You can pay via Momo, and then they'll deliver to your home or office in really good time as well. If you're in Accra or Tema, you get free delivery. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And given the current economic conditions, it is critical to protect oneself from the financial consequences of any unforeseen events. So go ahead and join over 8 million customers who are living life the Ayo way. Subscribe to Ayo Recharge with Care annual cover now and receive 6,000 Ghana cedis in life insurance cover for yourself and a family member to support funeral expenses, 120 Ghana cedis daily hospital cash benefit to support hospital admission bills, and a 10% no claim cashback. Make life simple. Dial star 928 star 101 hash to sign up to the Ayo Recharge with Care annual cover now. To learn more, contact us on WhatsApp, and the number is 059-691-8235, or visit our Facebook and Instagram pages at Ayo Ghana, AYO, because you care.
So enjoy a fresh breath in Europe's iconic city, Oslo, Norway this summer. Don Marcos Travel and Tours, in partnership with Akwabi Ashite Travel and Tours in Norway, is organizing an exciting trip to Oslo, Norway from the 17th to the 25th of June 2023. Will I be free then? Maybe. Tour package includes visa, return ticket, ground transport, airport transfers, accommodation for 9 days, breakfast, lunch, and supper, sightseeing, entry fees, and a complimentary travel insurance. Typical Norwegian nightlife in Oslo. Raymond, why are you, when I said would I be free then? Why?
The expectation is that you shall be working throughout May.
No, this is June.
And in June too?
No. We have an agreement on May, not in June. Interested tourists in Ghana, contact Don Marcos Travel and Tours on 0249045442 or 0202930863. Email donmarcostravels@gmail.com. Tourists in Europe or other parts of the world should contact Akwabi Ashite Travel and Tours on +47 455 36081. Email akwabiashite@yahoo.com. But the next time I go on leave will be in August, so that's just fine. You don't have a problem.
Wasting. Yeah, sending notice ahead of time.
3 weeks.
The avoidance of doubt.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So listen, in a while we'll bring in some callers and get their views on it. But just before that, I think the issue of the attitude of the Ghanaian towards the idea of wealth is something that we ought to talk about as well. Because as we discuss the things that should be done, as we talk about the ways in which government should be directing their efforts and being deliberate about it, as it's happened in other places, Nigeria, South Africa, and so forth, China, as we give these examples, we are also asking ourselves, how will our people respond? How will our people react? How will the Ghanaian take it? Already, with those who have sought to grow their wealth, how have we treated them? I know we have a history. We've come from, from colonial rule through military rule, and we have a history. But today, in Ghanaian society, how do we see wealth? Ray.
I mean, see, nobody in this republic, given the opportunity to be selected and promoted on a fair, proper, objective means, will not have some opposition. Yes, there will be some opposition. Some people, for reasons of envy, sometimes jealousy, but there's a very funny scheme around in this country. We sometimes, because of our peculiar interest, because all of this we are not doing it because we just want to raise billionaires. So every policy of state should have that question answered. This is a means. What's the end that we are hoping to achieve? If it will not achieve the ends, there's no need raising the billionaire in the first place, or using state-sponsored help for that process. If it will not achieve it. Secondly, if it is not, and I said open, transparent, proper process that has been tried and tested elsewhere, today nobody is actually seeking to question how much help Elon Musk got when he was in massive difficulty for an area. How much help, even Microsoft as a company got in times past, because they believe that the processes were open, transparent, and proper. In our quest, what we have tended to do is either we are doing family and friends with it, so we know deep within our hearts that this gentleman that we are putting our resources and actually putting everything behind is not only incapable of building it, and it's going to be a 2-3 year project which will not go anywhere, or it's going to be squandered and wasted. We just sometimes select people for the wrong reasons. There's nothing wrong with opposing that and coming to it, because anytime instead of Winston we give it to Mamavi, anytime we miss an opportunity to legitimately raise the right people or give the money to the right sources, it cannot only be foreigner versus Ghanaian. Sometimes the wrong Ghanaian versus the right Ghanaian. It's also a very big argument that we should be doing. But we should not even be having the argument if there is a proper procedure. And that's why I'm saying nobody was questioning the help Microsoft got. The help, what they call it, in fact, the Silicon Valley Bank today has been saved. The only issues being raised are whether or not it's economically prudent for us to do that. But as to whether people would benefit directly, pecuniary interest to those making the decision will come in, it's not being raised. We tend to sometimes, even when we have to do what is right, demand money, choose corrupt people, gender corruption, and people who end up not doing anything, as against the people with the vision, the drive, who have evidence of proving success elsewhere. Do you get my point? So nobody's saying raise crooks and force it on the people as people who are actually the business heads. There's an example that's given about how more recently we were in a very wonderful position to say no matter what has happened, Group Indum should not go down the drain. The decisions they've made, can we say true and deep within our hearts, because it's a decision that has made. It was devoid of partisan politics. It was devoid of some favoritism and some consideration beyond merely helping sustain a company, workers, and people who will actually live on this institution for good. So those questions are legitimate. Yes, raise the billionaires. But why? Why is it that everywhere else some are questioned, some are not questioned? And you see, the other part of the democracy part is that there's a reason why you also have to come back for accountability. So if you are justifying to the parliament why you selected Winston, and you know truly that you selected Winston purely because he's probably a friend and that he has suspended your party in times past, that's not the kind of support we are talking about. We are talking about legitimately helping businesses and some people that really will drive your change. And that anytime you choose Winston and not Mamavi, you are missing the opportunity. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that you are chosen based on family and friends. You have not been chosen yet anyway. But anytime you make one choice or the other, and not the other, even if you make the wrong choice, you are missing a great opportunity, because it's finite resources. It will finish. Or putting the money into the right hands. And that to me is a very legitimate one. But we are also jealous people. Naturally, when we see somebody becoming richer, I mean, somebody told me that some countries celebrate people. Says in Nigeria, they will dance around you and say, "Oh God, may God," they'll give you all the titles because they think that that's how they also get their wealth in the place. But Ghana, our first question will be, how much drugs has he been selling to get to where he is today? Where did he start from? Did he sneak in some drug? Is it the veneer of the business? No. Is it the same as what is underneath it?
This guy, I knew him when he was a messenger.
Yeah.
There's no way he got, that far without being a crook.
So you see, it comes back to being transparent, being accountable, right? So that if our tax collectors see all these so-called expensive people driving all these huge vehicles and things like that, if they would chase them and ensure that they account for the wealth that they claim they have, then you see the people will begin to relax and believe when somebody shows wealth, right? Then they will believe that, oh, I'm sure if it wasn't legal, the tax collectors would have seen it. But we're all watching, right? Like we see all these people. I'm sure the GRA does its bits
sometimes,
and there are challenges, I know, but we see all these people show off. So now you don't know who is legit and who is not. That's why the first thing that will come into your mind is, okay, how does he get it? He must be doing something that is illegal, right? So it comes back to, I like the fact that you said if you have a policy that the people know that this is the agenda, this is the focus, and this is how we intend to reach, then everybody will be on board. Even if the people are not on board, listen, you are running the government. You have stated your mission, right? I mean, it's a majority rule. Not everyone in parliament will vote for you, or will vote for a bill that you've brought. But once it is passed, it is passed. We move along.
But
once we begin to see the results, nobody will question.
But somebody's industrious son is going to be called a thief, because we have that attitude. And as soon as we see that government has chosen this person and is trying to support this person, boost this person's business, our attitude will kick in.
So that's why I say that when I made my point earlier, I talked about, if I were in government today, I'd say all constructions, we acquire cement, majority of it, even if you not want to acquire all of it, because there are other Ghanaian, there's Gasem, you see, majority of it, should come from Jata Cement, for instance. Now, when it was launched, at the time it was being launched, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians were excited that you had an indigenous Ghanaian doing this. So once you help that business, that in today's Ghana, we know is the brother of the opposition leader, it sends a signal.
They are breaking away from the past.
It's Ghana and not a party. You see, sometimes when we've had presidents in the past do certain things, they have done them because they also would want to send a certain signal that we are thinking about the country and not just about a party. So today, as we have this conversation, I would want us to look at a situation where we stop tagging people as being, if someone is corrupt, fine, is corrupt. And we must do everything possible to get the right people to succeed in business. Not people who fleece their state just to be rich. No. That's not what I'm asking for. I am not asking that people should, go and engage in crook schemes and deals with the state just because we're saying let's create billionaires. No. People who are doing genuine business, helped by the state. And in being helped by the state, it could just be access to markets. It could just be a tax holiday. Okay? It could just be an imposition of a tax on competition from foreigners. Nigeria made it very difficult for us to export rice to Nigeria. They made it difficult to export furniture. I tell you what, in 2009, I was in a furniture shop, and the owner of the company was telling us that, this one, people come and buy it and take it to Nigeria, even though it has been banned. So when they come and they buy, it's very expensive in Nigeria. So when they come, I also give them at a very high cost because I know that they're going to sell it. But over time, when I went back again, he said, today the people are not coming again because they made it very difficult for them to bring it back, to keep going. I am saying that. And when they closed their borders in the midst of free movement of goods and services, and they closed their border.
Yeah, we had that trouble.
What did we do? What did we do? Nothing. You had Guta complaining. They complain and complain and complain and complain. And what happened? Nothing. Okay? You had Ghanaian beverage industries, companies, stuck behind the border and couldn't do anything. All I am saying is that, look, we can start from somewhere. We decided at a point in time that we're going to, because we just didn't want Ghanaians to be taken out of the business entirely, we're going to create local content.
Yeah.
We found a way of making nonsense of the local content.
Making corruption of the local content.
But I say, today, the essence of history is standing in the present, looking into the past, so as to shape your future. We've had all the bad things in the past, but it's time for us to start a new path. It's time for us to chart a new path, a path where we begin to look at ourselves and say, yes, we have an important role as Ghanaians in promoting our own businesses and in making our businesses thrive.
So listen, let's talk about it. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your voice. The question is simple. Why don't we seem to have any Ghanaian billionaires? 0302-216-541, 055-1111-997. What's the reason? Is it our attitude? Is it corruption? Is it government's lack of vision? Is it a lack of entrepreneurial spirit? What is it? What is it? Why? Why do we not seem to have any Ghanaian billionaires? Jerry sent me this. He says, could you let me sum it up in one word? Abro. I have tried hard to get an English equivalent, but there is none because it's unique to us. The closest translation would be the phrase pull him down. Abro is a combination of greed, selfishness, covetousness, wickedness, witchcraft, etc. Hence no one word for it in English. This is the biggest threat to our growth and progress as a people.
I thought they said it abroad.
You have to add the hyphenated. It's a hyphenated name. So listen, call us. Tell us, what is your theory? Why do we not seem to have any billionaires in this country? And I've got to say, Winston talked about how we have to differentiate between those who are here to do good business and those who are not, those who are seeking to be, those who are corrupt. But that differentiation has to be legal, but on a legal basis. Because if you say someone is corrupt, you're accusing them of criminal activity, and there has to be proof. So not just because somebody says, but because the person has been proved to be corrupt. They've been charged, tried, and accused of being corrupt. And found guilty of being corrupt. Otherwise, you don't just say because this person has money, therefore he did cocaine. We have to have a certain attitudinal change there. No.
Just by way of clarification, that's not the point. The point I'm making really is that there are some people who actually could connive with the system, okay, just to engage in shady business.
Yes.
That's not what we're talking about. The point I am making is that let's look out for people who are doing genuine business.
Yes, and my point is, how do you know the difference? It's not just based on rumor.
No, not rumor. Not rumor at all. You can find out if you're doing that, yes.
Let's talk to Selam in Jamestown. Hi, Selam, good morning.
Yeah, hi, morning.
Selam, you'll have to turn off your radio, okay?
There's no radio here.
Oh, there's a bit of an echo then. But go ahead. Why don't we have any billionaires?
Yeah, you see, for me, the topic is interesting, but I don't side with the DC people are taking. When Obama came here, told them to build strong institutions and not strong individuals. Do you see what is happening in Adan? Hello?
We're listening.
Yes, what is happening at Adan with Adan and all this kind of thing. Me, I am not I don't believe in the state sponsoring this. We have entrepreneurs, all right. Ghana, we are testing mixed economy. I did a little economics at the Mauli Secondary School. We are not doing this kind of free enterprise or maybe command kind of economy. It's a mixed economy. So if somebody is doing well and the banks are there, you can borrow money and do your own business and get your things. The state should not be the one responsible. Otherwise, we create monopoly. And I'm not for monopoly. There should be competition. Thank you.
Thank you, Selam. I think it's important to clarify the state is not sponsoring Electrochem. All right, Bonsu is in Tema. Hi, Bonsu. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to speak in Fanti. Hello.
Okay. All right. We'll try and translate.
Kojo. Good morning.
Morning.
Most of them can hear. Money. Obesaya. If you have been there, the so-called. Only Ubugu, Ghana, Susan Nara. Sunday, one two about man. Now, all at a tree. On a 6 year unemployment, I can see woman. So, I'm local school. They have vacation employment. Then you scared to go to NCs. And then, when you hop, if you say, you're a clown, they go to here. Yana 4 years, billionaires. Or they have before with the excuse me to use the word, you answer. No one I drink to food. What the boy was on there. Ghana you back, no for doing Juma. No, we are frustrating. Kafa Iba, baby of Kulas or Beijing Sky. You see, or there or give up. That's it. So the human could be all over Ghana. Maybe that's right. Come to them. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's it, Bonsu. Thank you for calling us. A quick translation. He's saying that we can trace some of this back to some of the governments we've had in the past that we didn't elect. And he says that that is perhaps the root cause of our inability to create billionaires. He is saying that today, when somebody tries to be enterprising, tries to grow a business, all they are met with is frustration. We need leaders who have wisdom to lead us out of this. Claude is also in Tema. Hi, Claude. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
Not bad at all. Thank you for calling, Claude.
Yes, I have a number of issues. The first one, if you want to develop any economy, you need to source your material for industry from your own area, not from imported items. So if government or anybody wants to go into industry, we first have to look at where we are getting our raw materials. And Ghana is an agro-based country, and I think that is where we should focus. The other one is management and laws. Mr. Kwame Piani said it. You can bring 6 American lawyers into our parliament and they'll make laws and make sure the laws are enforced. But I have 275 parliamentarians and we can't have laws that are binding on industry so that somebody sets up an industry, another government comes, there's no law, they can change its business level at any given time. I think we need to look at parliament too. Education is key. It got to a time when governments were saying they identify with the downtrodden. How can you identify with the downtrodden? Instead of lifting them up to your positions, politicians come into power, they amass wealth and tell the ordinary person, identify with you, you should be in your zongo. I don't think it's fine. The last one is land tenure. Chiefs are sitting on land. To release land is a problem. And I think government should look at how we can deal with that issue. There are so vast lands and nobody can even go and farm an acre on it without going to the chief, going to agreement, take 1/3, take this. I think land tenure is a big problem in this country. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claude. Let's go across to Kumasi. Ken is tuned into Love FM. Hi, Ken. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling us.
I wouldn't say much, but I just want to ask a question that a friend of mine keep on asking, which is, do you still have hope in Ghana?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I do have hope in Ghana.
You see, I have believed that in Ghana, those with ideas don't have power, and then those with power don't have the ideas. But we always talk, but at the end of the day, I keep asking, where does it go? All the good ideas that we keep saying, where does it end us? This question about Iranian thing and then Iranian thing, I would love if you invite Agosi to your studio and then ask him how his downfall started. This is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Ken. All right, let's go to Asante Achim Agogo. Been a while since we had a call from there. Hello, Nkansa. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling us.
Kojo, the program that you are talking about, I think is a very delicate issue in this country. To me, I see it more of a cultural setup, a family setup, rather than being political. The political aspect of it is a transfer of how our family and our cultural upbringing is coming in. We live in a country where it's been alleged that some people travel from their home for greener pastures, but pretend to be not economically sound when they come back to their homes because of the fear of some spiritualities and others. So from our basic cultural family, the system is not working for us. We don't want to see our people moving forward in terms of economic gains. So when that thing starts happening, everybody will start fighting against you because you are being economically sound. He is not doing that. And that is one of the challenges that we are having in the country. When we get to a point like this, it becomes very challenging for people to even support you when you are making a headway in setting up an industry. So even your own people in the family, when you give the person, you ask the person to take charge of something, because he sees it as if because you are the only person who is becoming rich, that person will do anything possible to bring you down even in the business that I want to set up. So to me, I see it as more of our cultural setup, our cultural orientation, more than being political. The politics is there, all right, but it's coming from where we are coming from. That is why we have all these challenges. And so that thing is changed. I don't think we are nowhere being economically or industrially oriented than what we are seeing now. Good morning, Kojo.
Good morning, Nkansa. Thank you. All right, Bismarck is in Tema. Hi, Bismarck. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Kojo, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Bismarck.
Thank God that you people are doing well. Kojo, I'm a regular listener to the Joy FM show all the time. But most time when we call, we find difficult to get. But I know, but we get through as we are getting you. Kojo, this country, if our leaders and people they say the affairs of this country, they didn't change their lifestyle, we continue marking time. And I can tell you for sure, since 6 years of independence, we are still marking time. Look at the brilliant ideas and brilliant suggestions people give. Anytime you people do program, our leaders are there listening. Please, they must give us a break. Look at the country we find ourselves in. 6 years. When they talk about country, they are not sure. Ghana is number one. Thank you, Kojo.
Thank you, Bismarck. Fiery submissions there. We'll stay in Tema and talk to Joseph. Hi, Joseph. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir. I hope you're doing well.
Not bad, my brother.
Yeah, you are helping us a lot, sir. But sometimes I want you to invite those in the governance to come and answer some questions for us to know whether, excuse my word, they are making sense or they are just throwing that into our eyes. Uncle Joe, you are in Ghana here where we had a shoe factory using leather for shoes. Then at a point in time they read made in Italy. Why? Because Ghanaians don't want our own. When you talk about good shoes, it's about good leather. So why are you using good leather? Then you are writing Italy. I'm very happy that Tropical Cables has been prescribed as one of the best cables to be used in Ghana here. And when I'm building, I'll make sure I'll opt for Tropical Cables. But the issue is we are all at fault. This morning you said that can we believe ourselves? We don't believe ourselves. That's why we go for foreign goods because we think they are the best. And also we blame those in authorities because based on their personal interest, they will make it accessible for people to import inferior goods for them to get their, culture. So me, the ordinary citizen, opting for foreign goods because I think is the best. The big men, those in authorities, are also making it accessible for those inferior goods to come into the country. So we are all at fault. Until we change our mind, we keep on suffering. God bless you for your work.
God bless you, Joseph. Today, Tema is making a strong representation. Here's William, also in Tema. Hi, William. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling.
I say the reason we don't have billionaires or millionaires is because of politics and politicians. Let me explain it. You know, today, Ghana, it is easier for a young man, a young woman to get into politics and become rich. So we don't want to break sweat. We don't want to work hard. We don't want to start from the fundamentals. From the time we complete school, the first thing we're thinking about is get into politics, shout out loud to be able to insult our opponents, and then if by chance we get into power, we are given a position, we I don't want to use the word corrupt, but we find ways and means of taking from the nation, and then we build ourselves and we become rich. So our biggest issue is because of politics and politicians. Nobody wants to break sweat again. Nobody wants to work hard. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Thank you so much. We can go across to Dansuman now. Hello, Fred. Good morning.
Fred, good morning. Could you hear you?
Not bad at all, my brother.
I think the long and short of it all is it boils down to leadership. If you have a good leader or you have a good working environment, I think we can easily raise billionaires. But if we just look at how it's very difficult for businessmen to cope with this pace of long politics of taxes. So it boils down to leadership. There should be a deliberate effort to just create millionaires. Giving them tax holidays for them to create more jobs, to them to become millionaires. But you look at our system and you go through our tax lineups, whole huge of taxes. You could only make up your mind I want to set up a business today. And look at the struggles that you go through. So it all boils down to leadership. If you have a good leader who plan to have a deliberate, policy to create millionaires in the system. But if you have a leader who doesn't care, all he cares about is just putting taxes on businessmen, there is no edge for other people to create business for themselves. So it all boils down to big leadership. Just look at what is going on right now. Everything is about taxes. So people don't have the appetite to create jobs for themselves and become millionaires out of the jobs that they have. So it all boils down to that if you have a bad leader, it's difficult for people to create business for themselves and become millionaires.
Chantel is in Adenta. Hi, Chantel.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Chantel. Thanks for calling us.
Thanks for this conversation. It was really good. And I hope you can share more of our local companies that we can patronize them. But one thing I would love for you to do is maybe in a future show, bring some of these so-called millionaires, billionaires to the platform, because I believe those who are really doing authentic, transparent work can talk about how they made it, right? Sometimes in the States, they always do documentaries on people's lives, and it also inspires us. But then we can also see that a lot of those who are doing unethical, let me use it, unethical means to making money, it's not fair. And then this is where we can hold the tax departments of government accountable as to why they have not, whether it's called arrested or sanctioned such individuals. Because unfortunately, lots of young people that I train want to make money, but then they're looking up to these people who are doing things unethically, and they're wondering, why am I not making ends meet when I work hard, when I run my own business? So I'm hoping the ones who are really authentically rich, meaning made money authentically, can come and tell their story. While those who are not, people need to really sanction them. People need to look at them. And if the government that is taking money from them because of elections or God knows what, they too need to be brought to the book. Okay? We really need to transform Ghana, and we need to change it from the inside out. We cannot be glorifying people who are not making money authentically. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantel. Thanks to all of you who called us today. We really appreciate your input. When we come back, we'll hear from Twitter as well. Stay with us.
Easter means family time and sharing fun moments together. Whether it's traveling up the cold mountains, spending time at home, or hitching up with the boys, it's always exciting. And this season, everyone's invited to enjoy entertainment at its best with GoTV. Come on in and join Africa's biggest local stars, the world's best sports talent, the greatest international sensations, the coolest kids characters, and the hottest reality celebs. With so much on offer, it's the best deal for entertainment at its best. Obiadium. Stay connected on star 759 hash and make the family time great this Easter. GoTV. Love it.
Mr. Bossman, with all these computers, servers, and electronic equipment, I know they see one cable for the floor crack.
Charlie, you be right too. We dey use raised access floors from Interface, so all the cables they hide under the raised access floors. So
this be the solution to the plenty cables where dey my computer room for office. Accountant, call Interface now.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274 999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram Interface.limited.
Yes, it's NASCO Small Appliances Flash Sales Promo. You stay in or get outside. Happy times with your family, picnics, and more. Get go with the iconic NASCO Small Appliances. With NASCO Kettle, 99 Ghana cedis. Blenders, 279. NASCO Coffee Maker is going for 139 Ghana cedis. Portable Dry Iron, 99 Ghana. Portable Water Boiler, 129 Ghana cedis. Standing Fan, 299. High quality popcorn maker.